Today I want to redesign 3 billboards on the I-15 in Utah. Where do I get off doing this? Well, I have 30 years in graphic design and art direction. Number 1, let's start off by working with tire busters here. So we're looking at this billboard and I have a question. What is the message? What do you think the message is here? What's the main message? Because this is really busy. There's a lot going on here and it's really, if I'm driving 80 miles an hour down the street, I'm looking at this and just like looking away because it's just too much for that speed. And again, I've been in meetings with clients who ask for all of this. I'm not going to completely blame it on the designer. So sometimes when you're dealing with a client in a meeting, you can ask questions that help them understand what's most important, or at least narrow it down so that you are not doing what's happening here. So you got tire busters, they've got price match guarantee, nationwide warranty, locally owned and operated. Okay, those are 3 different messages right there. I am not going to read those driving down the street. I don't care. That's just too much. So you got tire busters, which nobody really knows their name. It's not like Ford or GMC. So let's shrink that down, put it over to the side. I would pick one of these messages. I would say price match guarantee is probably their best message here, the most that buys them something. And then I would take Payson, American Fork, and Price and shrink that down a little bit because that's a third message. I guess it's interesting. I mean, these days we don't need to actually know where everything is. We can Google it. So if I know it's tire busters and I know they have a price match guarantee, it's kind of all I need to know. But let's go ahead and, for the sake of argument, just shrink Payson, American Fork, and Price down to the corner a little bit more so that we can make the 2 main messages really pump. And that is number 1, price match guarantee, and number 2, the name of the company, so that I can Google them or whatever I need to do. Okay, so that's much cleaner. Again, Tire Busters is the name of the company, and their logo is kind of hard to read off of this billboard. So there are other ways to go, but I'm just going to do it the way they did it and put their logo there because I'm sure they're proud of that. And now we've got price match guarantee and Supreme Auto Care. I grabbed that off of the logo. So even if I don't know who Tire Busters is, or if I can't read that logo, I get what the whole billboard is about. That's price match guarantee. What is it? It's a Supreme Auto Care service. And it's in Payson, American Fork, and Price. And, you know, maybe you see the logo. Hopefully you do. I would have maybe redone that a little differently for this. Logos, if they do a good job, they usually give you several versions that will work in all cases. This one to me doesn't really work in this case just because it's, you know, I'm looking at it up close and I'm spending a lot of time staring at it right now and it's still kind of hard to read. But our messages are narrowed down and everything is cleaner to look at. Okay, number 2, Burger Basket Diner Deal. Okay, first of all, let's talk about how this is a billboard that is on the other side of the freeway. In other words, it's aimed at us, but we're on the opposite side of the freeway. This is kind of far. I don't know why people do this. I guess it was less expensive for the buy, but it's really hard to see. Now, on top of it, number 2, they have really filled this space with a lot of things. Let's be honest, Black Bear Diner is a good place to eat. I've been there several times. I like it. And I really want to see this work for them. Now, this might be a billboard that someone designed for a close-up and they only designed one. And so they're just using it everywhere, including far away like this. But it's really hard to really capture what's going on here. So let's look at the messages here. If I'm driving by 80 miles an hour, what's going to stand out to me? And what are they really trying to get across here? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that what they're trying to get across is, hey, you can get this meal, which looks like a burger basket and a shake. And you're going to get that starting at $8.99. And that's that. I mean, all I have to know that next is where. And that's where it says Black Bear Diner. So let's start. The price $8.99 is way too small. I don't think I even see that. It's kind of hiding behind the shake. The burger is duplicated. Don't need to see all that too. Give me the basics here. Let's take burger basket diner deal out. I don't think that's buying us anything. I don't think below it where it says exit 278 right, then left on state. Everybody's got GPS on their phone nowadays. You don't need to give them directions. So let's clear that space out. What we really need is a burger. We need the shake. Close together. I'm in. That's what that makes me hungry. I want to go. How much? Let's put that price right in the middle, starting at $8.99. Really use that space to our advantage. And then put Black Bear Diner up there. I will find it. I will just look Black Bear Diner up in my phone. I don't need directions on the billboard. I can't see that. That's across the freeway. I'm going 80 miles an hour. All I really see is a blur of a burger and a deal right now. So I need to change it out to where I say, burger, shake, price. Okay, I'm in. Black Bear Diner. Good. Look it up on my phone. I'm there. I don't care about the rest of it. And I definitely don't need to see a burger with a basket underneath it. That stuff just doesn't read from far away going 80 miles an hour. Okay, before we go to number 3, I just wanted to take a moment and show you some different billboards. These are smaller and this is for food, but I think you can look at these, each of these, and here's a close-up. Just in your own mind, look at these and tell me what works. What works from a distance like the distance we just had a second ago? Arby's, Popeyes, Cubby's kind of, Zupa's decent, Smash Burger, Costa Vida is okay. It's not my favorite. I get they're trying to stick with their logo, but not as easy to read. Jinya, Japanese place, ramen. I love ramen. I don't think that works really well. I would lose the symbol and just stick with the English. Maybe that's a bad idea. I don't know. I just can't read all that. Now let's go below that. Bike peddler. I can only see that up close. I'm never going to see that across the street. And these are across the street. Again, a billboard across the street aimed at my vision. Retina Associates. No way. Out. I don't even know why they bothered to pay for that. Because I cannot see it. I can't read it. I don't know what it is. I count it out. Bank of America, they should have just stuck with their logo. We know what it is. Or stacked it. It's almost like they took words from something else and said, nah, don't redo it. Just throw that on there. It's too small. Holiday Inn, I know their colors and the wording's big and bold. That's fine. Lone Peak is good too. But the rest of those, you can see which ones work and which ones don't. And I can tell you why the ones that work. It's because they're well-established companies who pay good money to have their logos well made and well shown in signage by companies who understand how to do it. Here's one more company that I really like, In-N-Out. I don't care for their fries, but their signage is great. I know what that is. See how their logo? They paid a lot of money for that logo. Do they blast it? No. It's down there because you know what? We know. It's down there, In-N-Out. First read, a gigantic hamburger. That's going to get my attention. And then it says, I don't know why they do this, where to exit. no price, because they know already that you know what their hamburger tastes like. So the message isn't, hey, here's our hamburger and it's only $3 or $5 or whatever it is. It's just about getting there. And again, I still don't understand the need to give directions, but at least they made it simple and they put it on black. And then their logo is very small. 3 messages right there. That's the point of this. 3 messages. Pick 3. Mercedes-Benz does it. In-N-Out does it. It's good. It's good practice. All right. Finally, billboard number 3. It's called theblindman.com. Take a look at this and think about what do you think the messages are and how well they're put across. Let's start with the far right, and you've got the blind man. I like how everything's actually separated in 3 sections. That's nice. I still think it's too busy though. So you've got this logo that's an illustration and of a little blind man, I suppose. And that's nice, but again, white on gray does not read. The illustration's too small. I wonder what it is when I'm going 80 miles an hour down the street. So for a billboard, I would just kind of get rid of that illustration. As cool as it is, I'd get rid of it for this. And then I would make the blind man big. Theblindman.com. And .com doesn't need to be that big. We know what .com is, and we know to add it to anything that says theblindman.com. So let's make those real big. I would go white on black. Keep that line, and we'll make that whole right section black with white type. That pops. Now let's come over and go to shutters, blinds, shades, and motorization. Let's fill that space a little differently. This is just my personal opinion about how I would fill this space. I want to keep these in 3 separate units. And now, far left, we have 110% best price guarantee. I don't know that the 110% is really buying you anything. It's a cute idea. But again, if I'm trying to read something at 80 miles an hour, let's just say best price guarantee and get rid of the 110%. It's not buying you anything. So now you have best price guarantee, real big. Then you have shutters, blinds, shades, and motorization. Okay, that's your second read. That's your second message. Those 2 messages are the main messages. Now, who's the company? That line is a nice divider. We turn the background into black because that gray was not popping off of the background. And let me tell you, today that I'm actually making this video, the sky is gray. And so that other gray is not going to work well on a gray sky. It's just going to get lost back there. So changed it to black. You know, any good dark solid color will work, but I chose black. The blind man, and real small at the bottom, .com, because we know it's going to say .com. We know what that is. And there you go. Very clean, separated, and you still keep your colors. It's not too different. It's just a little more cleaned up and definitely more contrast for when someone's driving by at 80 miles an hour down the 15. Thanks for checking this out. If you see a billboard somewhere in between Salt Lake and, say, Payson down south that you would like me to do a review on, please message me down at the bottom here. Thanks a lot for checking it out.